How do you find the humpback whitefish on the Belaya River? For our task, the humpback whitefish is our target fish, and the best way to find the humpback whitefish on the Belaya is with float fishing. And conveniently, we're not even that far out here, so you can actually do this with a whip rod, for example. There it is. The next beautiful humpback whitefish, 1.3 kilograms. So, not bad experience-wise either. I haven't been standing here that long. Happy hour is still running too, so you can really do well here. Not just at this specific spot. The Belaya isn't that huge. You can also test this well at various other spots, just walk around a bit. But the method of searching and approaching here is always the same, and it's generally quite similar for all whitefish species. So, for all whitefish and ciscos, there are already at least 100 videos on the YouTube channel about the different whitefish in the different waters. You go in relatively fine and then, as I said, do the whole thing with larvae. So, insect larvae work best here, and that's why we're doing the same thing here with the humpback whitefish using insect larvae. So, in this case, a stonefly and a mayfly is a very simple standard combination, so to speak, and that already looks quite decent. So, really, in this short time, 10 minutes at this spot with testing and everything, maybe 15 minutes here at the spot, because I also had to search a bit beforehand. Important. The first thing, and this is what you have to do if you go here yourself, because you won't have the same weather conditions as I do at this spot, is test the depths. With float fishing, the alpha and omega isn't just the choice of bait. You just have to know at some point which baits might work. But what's important, and you have to test this again and again and again, is at what height the fish might be. This means if you test this here and you perhaps have sunshine, just start at different depths. 50 centimeters depth, 1 meter depth, 1.50 meters depth, and then of course also in the different depths straight into the water. So, how far do you cast out? Maybe you just cast 5 meters, 10 meters, 15 meters out first and just test where the fish might be. For me, right now, I'm having good success at about 1 meter depth. This is generally not bad for the Belaya. Grayling and trout also always work well there. So, 1 meter depth is a good choice, and right now, they're biting well here in this general area. Look, we've got another one on. There was something again. Yes! Oh, now it's decided. So, this is currently the area that works quite well for the humpback whitefish, and then, as I said, you go in relatively small. Let's quickly look at the setup here. So, this is what the setup looks like. I've only used a size 6 hook, 6.9 kilograms fluorocarbon. Don't go in too big and heavy. We are here on the Belaya, so always use nice fine fluorocarbon. This is a super clear water, absolutely important for trout and grayling. And then, as I said, stonefly larvae on it. If you can only use one bait, I would probably mainly test with the stonefly larvae. Then you make one rod with the mayfly and one with the stonefly, and then off you go. And then, as I said, the most important thing is simply to test and wait a bit. So, always try it out in different regions, at different depths, let the whole thing drift, and don't let it drift for too long. If it has drifted about 20 meters here and there's no bite, well, then just cast again and again and again. And if nothing happens after 10 minutes at the different heights, then you simply have to change the spot and just go somewhere else. If there's nothing there, then there's nothing. However, if the first strike comes, and for me, the first strike was exactly here at this spot, then I will, of course, cast with all 3 rods at exactly the same level, or rather, 10 centimeters higher, 10 centimeters deeper, always still in this level, always again to the same spot. Because even during the day, the preferences of the fish change. And it can certainly be that if you catch something at 50 centimeters at noon, that in the evening the fish are rather at 80 centimeters. So, you also have to consider that you vary the whole thing. So, float fishing, that's also relatively active. You also always have to adjust the heights if you want to be successful with it. We don't have a chum mix here. I don't think we need one for humpback whitefish. So, just go in with different baits, and of course, there are other possibilities. You can, of course, also try the other types of larvae here. Bark beetle larvae, caddisfly larvae, maggot, bloodworm, and the caddisfly are definitely worth testing. So, you can gladly try out if these worms also work here. Perhaps especially these new worms, they have also worked quite well recently on the Tunguska. You can fish very much for whitefish species there, and such a combination might also be an option. So, I'll test that right away and now also do a bit of testing here at the spot with the rods on the different worms. Then we'll take the search variant and then the third variant, and then we'll see. Well, now it's getting dark, of course, also quite possible that it's over soon, that the humpback whitefish doesn't feel like biting at night. That's also quite possible, and accordingly, we, of course, have to see when it's most willing. I had mostly caught mine during the day, as I said. Whether they also go in at night, we simply have to test. Up to 2 kilograms humpback whitefish were caught, so that's pretty good. Yes, and I'll just continue testing a bit here at this spot. Does it also work with these other worms or in this other combination with these new worms? Look, something is biting there. A light lift bite, could also be a silver bream or something. No, even a bream. So, you just have to experiment a bit, but as I said, these larval species are simply the classic ones. If you need more videos about fishing for whitefish, it's best to look at the videos from the Tunguska or from Lake Ladoga, because there are regularly many good spots and explanations on how to fish for ciscos and such humpback whitefish here. And otherwise, get in here, off to the Belaya. Don't forget to leave a thumb up, of course, subscribe to the channel, and then we'll see each other in one of the next videos or in the next live stream. Tight lines until then.